Welcome back to this week's Mounting Yard preview. My name is Bella Anderson, I'm Betfair's Mounting Yard analyst, and this weekend we're racing at the Valley for CARLYON Stakes Day. Race 1 is for the 3-year-olds colts and geldings over the 1200 metres, and Amur is a very handsome schnitzel colt. He's an absolutely magnificent type of horse. Interested to see how he parades on Saturday. I've seen him twice, and third up last prep he got really warm, he got really toey, and he ran 9th on that occasion. The start after, so 4th up into that prep, he was far more relaxed and he wasn't warm at all, and he ran a much better race. He ran 3rd on that occasion, so definitely going to be looking to see him nice and relaxed, conserving his energy for the race here. First up, Mansia. He was really toey last start, and I wasn't too sure. It was my first time seeing him, so I wasn't too sure on how he'd perform parading like that, but he ran 3rd on that occasion, so totally fine if you see that horse getting a bit toey in the mounting yard. Prince Zero. He's the interesting question mark for me at the early stage of the race. I think his parade on Saturday is going to be really crucial. I thought he had significant fitness improvement to come last start, and he's since had a gap between runs. He's had 4 weeks and he's rising in distance. So I think his fitness levels is a real big question mark for mine. Race 4 is a benchmark 78 over the 1600 metres, and it's normal for both River Plate and I'm a Shelby to parade toey and warm, very normal characteristics, and they perform well doing this. Hennessy Lad. Looking to see this horse not warm and fitter. From first up, he got really warm. He had significant fitness improvement to come. Last start, he was one off. He wasn't warm, but he was a little bit toey, still had some improvement to come. So I think 3rd up now, he's hopefully going to be much fitter and more relaxed and not getting warm. Legend of Dubai laid him last start for Betfair when he ran 8th at his first up run. He had 2 hind bandages on, he got very warm, he got very worked up. He just basically did not handle race day at all. So interested to see how he's come through that run. Not sure about the bandages at this stage. Obviously only seen him the one time, and he did have them on that occasion. So he's definitely still a big question mark for mine. And Heel Rip is a horse I am absolutely obsessed with. He's a beautiful type of horse. He's really big and imposing. Has had 4 weeks between runs, and due to that sheer size and due to him being just such a big horse, interested to see how fit he is on Saturday. Race 7 over the 2040 metres, and it's normal for both Normandy Bridge and Future History to be quite tense and toey in the mounting yard. Braden Star, also normal for him to be quite toey and warm. He's a natural free sweater. Interesting fitness levels for a few key runners. Normandy Bridge, Interpretation and Future History have all had upwards of 4 weeks between runs, and even Future History's had 7 weeks between runs. So their fitness levels on Saturday over the 2000 metres is going to be really important. Race 8 is the feature event on the card at the Valley, and that's the CARLYON Stakes for the sprinters over 1000 metres. And Sweet Ride, back of the yard last start, he was terrific, winning track and distance last start. So looking forward to seeing him maintaining his condition. Similar to Omni-Man, he looked in outstanding order. I couldn't fault the condition he was in last start. This galloper down from Sydney, he's certainly very impressive to look at. And Ashford Street is the one I want to identify as looking over the odds to me at this early stage. He's double figures, upwards of $20, and I'm expecting him to probably start longer on Betfair on the day, so make sure you keep an eye out for Ashford Street. He returned in sensational condition. He's an older horse, but I was surprised to see him come back bigger, stronger, brighter. He was just radiating health. I loved how forward he was, and I thought he ran a cracking race 4th up. It was a shame he couldn't get 3rd for myself as an each-way backer, but really looking forward to seeing Ashford Street as well. I think he's definitely one that could be a potential blowout or even a really good place bet. Acromantula, I thought he honestly only looked average last start. I was hoping to see a little bit more from this horse. I thought he was a little bit dull in his coat. He was not unfit, but he wasn't as fit as a few of these other sprinters were for a really fast run first up race. So I think he's going to have taken massive improvement from that first up run, and just looking to see, but definitely need to see an improved parade from Acromantula on Saturday. And Hypothetical, she's really interesting to me. I saw her on debut. I've only seen her the once, and I haven't seen her since. She's obviously an older mare now, but on debut, she was really fizzy. She was really tense. She was nervy. She got really warm, sweated up. She ran well considering, but that was her first career start. So I'm interested to see how Hypothetical has matured and how she is now as an older mare. Race 9 over the 1500 metres, and it's normal for both Deny Knowledge and Aaron Bay to get quite warm and toey in the mounting yard. They're very enthusiastic paraders. King Magnus has had 8 weeks between runs, and he's a horse I normally love for the mounting yard. He's normally a very simple horse. He ticks all of the boxes and tends to do everything right. But last start, he looked a bit off. I'd definitely seen him look better. He was a little bit dull, he was a little bit dour, and he also had this really big ulcer on his left hind. Now, I don't necessarily think that impacted his performance, but I just thought it was something really interesting to note. So he's since had the 8 weeks between runs. So hopefully we're seeing him come back in his normal tip-top condition that is so characteristic of King Magnus. St. Lawrence, I don't even know where to start with St. Lawrence. He's another one who I absolutely love. I've seen him at almost all of his career starts, and he was first up last start, and I actually laid him for Betfair, and as we know, he did win. He's just another one who I'd seen look so much better. He had 2 hind bandages on for the first time, which is something that's not characteristic for the Mara and Eustace stable whatsoever, so that was a concern for me. And he had hives. His coat was very rough, very average. I thought he looked a little bit dull. Had significant fitness improvement to come. He just pretty much looked like a different horse. If someone hadn't said to me, well, that's St. Lawrence, I wouldn't have believed you. So he did win on that occasion, but I think it's really important to consider the fact that he won by a very minimal margin, and he won with so much improvement to come. I think that's the really key thing. So he's going to improve drastically on that first up performance. Now, interestingly, he has had 5 weeks between runs, but I think he's normally a pretty good fresh horse, but the fitness improvement he will have made, considering he's not on the quick backup, like a normal 3-4 week turnaround, is interesting. But yeah, so a massive question mark for St. Lawrence for mine. But yeah, he's tricky because I laid him and he won. So maybe he was just too good on that occasion. But interesting to see. He's obviously looking to make it 7 wins from 8 career starts. Simply a phenomenal record. And he is a really phenomenal horse. But yeah, hoping to see him look like his normal self as well. And yeah, that's St. Lawrence. Race 10 is a benchmark 84 over the 1200 metres, and aside from the feature race of the day, the CARLYON Stakes, this is the other race I'm most looking forward to. There are some really exciting up-and-coming sprinters going around here, and one of those being Maximilius, who we saw return in winning order first up. He's not your typical sprinter. He's quite a lean, athletic, leggy type, but he was really forward. He was actually hard fit first up, and only improvement he had was in his coat. He had been clipped on that occasion, still being quite wintry, but he was as fit as he could possibly be. Najim Sahel, I think, is the most intriguing runner here. He's a horse I absolutely adored first up. He came back in sensational condition. He was so much stronger, so much more muscular than he was last prep. Last prep, I still liked him. He was a really nice style of horse, but he did have that scope to kind of fill out and really grow into himself as one of those really big, strong, muscular, athletic sprinting types. And boy, he did not disappoint first up. He's had 6 weeks between runs, and he was scratched from Flemington, I think 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe forgive my maths on that, but he was scratched from Flemington not too long ago due to a foot abscess. Had 6 weeks between runs, and now he's got Equicast going on for the first time. So I think with Najim Sahel, we just have to trust that the stable wouldn't be racing him if he wasn't sound. But certainly not ideal that the Equicast is going on after the foot abscess. So that's just something to take note of. But fitness-wise, not concerned with him with the gap between runs. He's a sprinter, he performs well, fresh, and he is always a horse that does carry excess weight on him anyway, thrives like this. The question mark is just the foot abscess, the Equicast, but we're going to trust the stable on that one. Gringotts, can't wait to see this horse return. He's obviously first up. He's the most exciting runner in this mounting yard due to the sheer upside he might have. Toey and warm on his debut, relaxed deep into his preparation, performs well regardless, so I won't be concerned if I do see him up and about, excited to be back at the races, and then probably deeper into his preparation we'll be used to seeing him a little bit more relaxed. That's a wrap on this week's Mounting Yard preview, taking a look at Moonee Valley CARLYON Stakes Day. Really good day of racing, particularly race number 10 as well as the feature, but make sure you stay tuned to my live Mounting Yard updates on Betfair and Eyes Twitter platforms, where I'll be providing how the horses look on the day as well as the backs and the lays of the yard.
chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.